What are you lot doing? So yeah, let's crack on in this. Bloody hot day in the United Kingdom, isn't it? But yeah, let's crack on. Dharma Chef of Sky Sports has said, I think Arsenal will want to be busy this summer. Last summer, they spent about 250 million. I don't think we're going to see the same thing happen. One source has told me that a key player, at least one player, could leave. I mean, he hasn't said anything different to the rumors and what we've been talking about since the season finished, people, during this off break. So yeah, it is what it is. Again, big up all the Arsenal players participating at the World Cup. Arsenal players have been involved in 7 goals at the 2026 World Cup so far, the second most of any club represented. Kai's got 2, Gyökeres has a goal and assist, Odegaard's got 1 assist, Rice has got 1 assist, Bukayo Saka has 1 assist, in the streets, no, Noni Madueke also had a good game. Fabrizio Romano, exclusive, Arsenal sent official bid to Leicester City to get Jeremy Monga deal done. 16-year-old winger keen on joining Arsenal. Deal moving quickly now with optimism to sign the Leicester City talent, seen as a huge prospect for the future. And actually, the last time Leicester were in the Premier League, he made his debut, I'm sure, under Ruud van Nistelrooy. Continuing things, Arsenal looking into the necessary details before lodging a bid for Bradley Barcola. There's yet a possibility that Arsenal buy both Morgan Rogers and an attacker such as Barcola. Okay, that could be you're getting Barcola and Rogers in addition to what we've done. That could be Morgan Rogers, pardon me, and the club bruise you. It could be free. It's all down to interpretation. Should we see the full article? Arsenal prepare Bradley Barcola bid with PSG winger among key targets. He scored a great goal in that game for France against Senegal. Arsenal are looking into the necessary details before lodging a bid for PSG's winger Bradley Barcola. From a scouting point of view, in terms of, I don't know, goals, assists, position, defensive work rate, how many times he pressures the ball and all that kind of stuff, like the organic kind of scouting, you'd imagine Arsenal and several clubs have been doing that, not just about Barcola, about other people. Maybe the necessary details is maybe reaching out to his agent or intermediaries and seeing the willingness of that. How much does he want Arsenal? What does his personal terms look like? That makes sense. We might see the willingness of, how far are you prepared to make this move happen? Are you prepared to tell PSG cold blank, I ain't signing a new deal, I'm cutting out, and then maybe we launch a bid? Barcola has become one of the game's brightest stars, with Liverpool also thought to have tracked his progress, with Adoni Ariola's side thought to be in the market for 2 wide forwards this summer. They're still linked with Diamande. They've obviously got Victor Manus, as you would have seen in the news. However, Mikel Arteta's main priority this summer is to elevate the level of attack. Recruitment is one thing, Gaffer, but I do think the tactics have to evolve, because last summer when we got Eze and Gyökeres, I was gassed, but it weren't as white and black as you just slap them on the pitch, they're going to do whatever they're doing. So yeah, man, there's many things we're good at and it needs to go to another level. There's many areas of improvement that we need to take to another level. But as I've been saying all week, we could, as Arsenal fans, I could say, forget players, what positions would you go for? Some of us might say a centre mid. Some people might or might not want a striker. Some people might say left back. Some people might say right back. Some people might want another centre half, etc., etc. And it's not that they're right or wrong. The one that it's going to polarize debate, innit? The one area every Arsenal fan would probably agree is that left-hand side, because it's a position that's needed adjusted. And to be honest, I would love to know the amount of targets we've Sky, because we didn't just wake up this season or end the season and say we need a left winger. We were screaming that last year, probably even the year before, 2023-24, probably was screaming that. The only year we ain't screamed that is 2022-23, when we finally did it. That was probably the one season, Zinchenko's debut season, we never looked right-hand centric. We never looked lopsided. Every team is going to have a bias to one side, but it was equally good down the left and right. If I'm actually honest, big up Hincapié for his end of the season. But I think, when it's been Trossard and Hincapié or Trossard and Calafiori last season, that's probably the best this left-hand side for our football club has looked like. So let's see what else has been said. Barcola has now been highlighted as a target that could bring an upgrade to the starting lineup. As well as representing a realistic deal, PSG's preference would be to keep the attacker, but they're also open to reshaping the attack themselves. That's because they hold an interest in 2 existing Arsenal targets in Atletico Madrid and Argentina forward Julian Alvarez, and Aston Villa and England winger Morgan Rogers. Hand of Arsenal said Morgan Rogers wants us. Julian Alvarez, I think we're third. I think he wants Barca. If he ever concedes that Barca dream's gone, I do think he goes PSG. Nonetheless, as you can see there, we're still linked with him for whatever reason. The latest you saw yesterday in the video we covered together, folks, this Gyökeres and 50 million for Julian Alvarez. Absolute nonsense. But for argument's sake, if it was 50 million and Julian Alvarez for Gyökeres, would you do it? There's yet a possibility that Arsenal both buy Rodgers and an attacker such as Barcola. which underlines Arteta's insistence on going to the next level despite winning the Premier League and reaching the Champions League final, only to lose to, ironically, Barcola's PSG. The French winger was impressive in New Jersey, with the Blues proving too slick in attack for Senegal. During a sizzling second half, his delightful chip finish doubled France's lead and split Mbappe's brace in the Group I victory. Barcola could challenge Martinelli and Trossard to start on the left wing for the Gunners. One is going to defo leave people. We'll get back into all of that stuff, but Sammy Maltbell has said Arsenal pursue Bartishvili. Arsenal are set to make an offer to sign Georgian under 21 international Andrea Barcheshvili. The 17-year-old is contracted to parent club FC Kolketi until the end of 2026. It's understood that the Gunners are set to make a pre-contract offer to the teenager, so we could get him on the free. He obviously can't join us until he's 18. Which you'd imagine, hopefully his birthday ain't gone. Talks over the move are ongoing, but Arsenal are not the only club vying for himself. There's multiple layers, clearly. We've had a lot of communications and negotiations to the point where an official bid for Monga has been placed. We're going for this guy. You'd imagine we're probably talking about moving players on. There's probably still rumors around new players signing contracts. There's multiple layers to this, people. Bartishvili, a versatile attacking midfielder, spent last season at Iberia 1999, helping the club finish second in the Georgian top flight, missing out on the title by 1 point. We know about that. Bartishvili is viewed as one of the brightest talents in Georgian football and has also been linked with a move to a number of, it says I think they mean of Italian sides, including Juventus. I mean, the last Georgian lad that was all the range, Napoli's gain, PSG's gain has been everybody's loss in it. So don't miss out on another one. Now, naturally, you're coming, not going to act like I've seen him play, but naturally, any attacking player that comes out of Georgia is going to be linked. They're going to be calling the next Kvaratskhelia. And even if he's 50% of him, it's all right. It's just like any decent, skillful Brazilian. It's the next Neymar. It's just one of those things. So, yeah, man, what are we saying? Run up the likes, man. Unfortunately, I got to deal with some ish. We shouldn't be getting Man United hand-me-downs. No to Rashford. We should get Nusa 40, 50 million. We're not getting him for that. This reminds me of when we could have got Cherky for 30 million and missed out miserably. Now look at him at City bench folding in his first season. You're not getting Nusa for 40, 50 million. They're going to make you pay a bit more. If PSG have genuine interest in Rodgers, just like Arsenal, also both clubs having interest in Alvarez, Arteta and Enrique have similar requirements for next season. Left wing is a priority, but the left wing market is not it. Why might have to invest in potential over a world beater? It's not it, man. It's not it. But give it 6, 12, 18 months. We're saying that there's going to be players that we're crying about. So it's never been important, simply put, for scouts to do your job. That's why I don't mind us going for the Greek youth from Club Brugge. Obviously, I'm not saying he's going to be a starter and things like that. But what's the point getting a big name, getting gassed, and then ultimately, once the excitement dies, it's a square peg in a round holes. The level of teams Rashford played against was weaker, but he only scored 8 goals. Marcel doing super chats, top up around here. Love for the super chat, Marcel. Just woke up, had to lock it to my brother DG. Appreciate you. Hey, Marcel, please take time with the drinking during the World Cup, man. Take time, man. Just take time, man. Steady, man. I would avoid Chizolis. We have seen people like Gakpo, Xavi Simons, Gyökeres, Nunes get bare goals in these kind of leagues, and now look at them in the Premier League. They just rub out after a while. Martinelli failed as a striker early on. Lucky gents, you hit the 50 mark. I was going to crash out. If not, now do us all a favor, get that shit to 100. Unexpected high bills if you ain't smashed that like button. 2 centre mids, left wide forward, were calm in goalkeeper and defence and striker. 2 centre mids, I think you might get one pure centre mid. And what I mean by that is, I know Zubi and Rice have technically played right back. Lewis Kelly's played left back, but 9 times out of 10, them are the centre mids. Odegaard, Eze, if you sign him, Rodgers, I know he might leave, but Wanyeri, these lot can play all across the board. So I think you get one, quote-unquote, pure centre mid, and then you might get a Rodgers who indirectly covers midfield, innit? I don't think we'll get like an 8 and a 6. You might get someone that can do both, but yeah, man. Why not sell both Jesus and Havertz, move Martinelli as a striker, also add Osimhen, we got to let that go. We're definitely going to keep Havertz for a season. Jesus needs to go, I agree. Martinelli up front, we still up with 2026, we're still screaming that. Fair play, man. Fair play. Fixture released tomorrow, ready for Anfield, Etihad or Stamford Bridge in August as per usual. Be interesting to see what comes out. We will do a video at some point regarding that tomorrow, people. Big up everyone. Hope you're well. Rob, come on. I'm liking the Alex Scott and Bawardi links. Rice needs to be rotated. I'm liking it as well, but beyond talking with you guys and considering if there'll be good signings or bad signings, like I just want to hear fees agreed, bids, all these kind of things. Big up, hey Dane, one love. Big up DG. Who would you spend 100 M's on? Rogers, Yildiz, or Krupti? All of them, in truth. All of them. All of them, if I'm honest with you. But of the three, number one would be Creepy. Number two would be Rogers. Number three would be Yildiz. And it's Yildiz could be first. It's just I've got in my mind Creepy's gonna be a player, man. I just really like Rogers. Yildiz is a Bobby Dazzler, man. The Arsenal fans would love him, innit? One thing I like about Barcola, he can play left wing, right wing, and up front. I hear that. I'm not saying it's wrong, but like seriously, what player can't do that? In the modern day, almost every player can play one or two positions or three. So yeah, man. Big up S as well. I feel like we're going to get hit with a lot of injuries. Saka, Saliba, Tim. But hey, man, what's going on for you in the doom and gloom, man? Watching from Poland, Warsaw. Big up the Polish ones or people living in Poland. Appreciate you, my boy. Any update on our interest in Scott? Doesn't seem so. I think people are sleeping on Muniz at right back from Palace much more than Livramento. I just have in my mind he's going Spain, man. So yeah, the same things are being said by French papers as well. People that mainly coming out of the Independent that were preparing a bid. He's become more of a backup option, despite playing more minutes in certain ways than some of the more key players at PSG and being their top goal scorer. Again, he isn't looking like he's signing a new contract at Paris Saint-Germain. I think they value him. It's just reality is Doué, Dembele, Kvaratskhelia. They're linked with a whole heap of other attackers. They're linked with Rogers, Diamande, this one, that one. It could get dark. However, talks over a contract extension had been put on hold towards the end of the campaign as the club focused all of its energy on the Champions League. Prior to that, there had been no progress in talks between the France international and the European champions. Since the Champions League final, there's been no process. It's thought that PSG are open to selling the France international, who netted on his FIFA World Cup debut in France's 3-1 win over Senegal. Arsenal are looking to rejuvenate their attack and are about to challenge PSG's resolve to retain Barcola. Apparently, we are determined to sign Morgan Rogers, according to Romano. I would still mention a name that I've been mentioning for the last months on Liverpool, and it's a name I want to keep there. It's not something new, because if you follow the channel, you know I'm always mentioning him. But Bradley Barcola remains a player appreciated by Liverpool. So we should not forget about Barcola, who's also appreciated by Arsenal, but the priority for Arsenal remains Morgan Rogers. So Arsenal want to sign Morgan Rogers, and Arsenal will go all in for Rogers. That's the expectation. Barcola is still on the shortlist, but nothing imminent. So yeah, people. And Hand of Arsenal did speak and say Morgan Rogers is sold on the project. He was on the shortlist last season. My understanding is that Villa and Arsenal are in contact through unofficial channels regarding any potential deal. Remember my words, the fee is key to this deal. The player is fully on board. Andrea Berta has asked to be kept fully informed about any other club making a move for Rogers. If Arsenal do make a move, there'll be another update. Chelsea in particular have been pleading with Morgan. Don't beg, it's disgusting, to showcase their plan. As of today, the response is Arsenal. 14 goals, 12 assists in 55 games last season. So that tells me you can cause havoc. Tells me you can get numbers. 55 games as well. Durability. The best ability you can have is being available in it. So it is what it is. What's Henri did? Henri's taken a swipe at Arsenal critics. What has my legend said specifically? It does disturb people when it's Arsenal, but when it's the national team, they'll be happy this time. We scored 26 times in the Premier League from a set piece. United got 22. Didn't Spurs get 17? Big up Nicholas Hover. I mean, this article done me. I thought Henri went a bit more in detail. Thomas Tuchel spoke about Rice. There was a bit of online. Everyone was a bit scared because he came off after 70 minutes. Specifically, what has he said? Let's see. I hope they're okay. Normally, I would never take Declan out, but I don't want to take any risks. It was a moment to protect him. I hope it's nothing more. Declan reassured me at the end it's good. It's nothing to worry about. He did say all good, good as gold. Just what I've been nursing probably in the second half of the season at Arsenal. Little neutral pains here and there, but yeah, I'm all good, all fine. Just precaution. I'll be back out there against Ghana on the 23rd. And you know what? I'll give that to you too, cool, man. To see, I'll give you that. You don't play games with people's fitness. You ain't play games with Declan Rice. You didn't play games with Bukayo. I'm forcing it, but I'll throw Noni into the debate. You could have brought, you know what? You could have brought Max Dowman. He's better than Anthony Gordon. Anthony Gordon was the worst attacker. Forget defense. But if you're talking about the 10 and everyone in front, he was the worst. Rashford came off the bench bag. Saka got an assist. Noni was probably England's best attacker that started, excluding Harry Keza, who got 2 goals and obviously had that important block. Jude Bellingham got his goal, and I'm happy for Jude and Rashford, 2 players that are heavily spoken about and whatnot. Anthony Gordon was smelly yesterday, folks. I can't lie. Liverpool will sign another attacker / winger in addition to Victor Manus. Optimism remains on Yandy on Monday, but due to competition with PSG and Leipzig's asking price, there are other targets. Understand pace is the key criteria. Also on the list are Kone's El Mala, decent, Brighton's Yakubu Minta, and Leo's Matias Fernandez Pardo. All options in case Diamande doesn't arrive. Barcola, another player Liverpool have looked at this summer. What do we make of that? I mean, all the players that we're linked with, there's a theme. Everybody wants good players. Like, everybody wants good players. And 9 times out of 10, we're not the only club that can sell a decent project. Marmoush is Prem proven. He's not working for City, is he? Doku also came from the French league and he's doing great. What does that mean? Run up the likes. Rafa Leao could work left wing. I don't know. He needs a top manager to get the best out of him. That's time we don't have. We need a left winger to hit the ground running. When England beat Ghana, Tuchel can rest Rice against Panama. Rashi loan with an obligation would be nice, and that loan with an option like Barca. Rodrigo for me is a better footballer than Barcola and Rodgers on that left hand side. Yeah, but he broke his ACL, man. There's no way we're getting him. Cole Palmer trying to convince Rodgers shouldn't have stolen his celebration. Villa will probably ask for Ethan to be part of the Rodgers deal. Boy, there was a link with a double deal with Rodgers and someone else at 170, but that then said Barcola is and unsure. Does that then lead to Krupi? I think Krupi stays at Bournemouth another year. Stranger things have happened, but yeah, man. Norton Coffee back as a right back option. I think we need a bit better than that, but pick him up though. Big him up. Krupi would be amazing at this football club, man. Man put Yildiz last. Out of Rodgers, Yildiz, and what was the other name? Rodgers, Yildiz. Can't remember, but all three, they could all be first, they could all be last. What are we doing here? Doku came from the French league too, and he did great for City. I think you lot are talking about something in the chat. I like the idea of Alex Scott. I just don't get the vibe that he's Arsenal's first choice. I think he's a player that they like, can see how it ties in. He's obviously a good player in his own right. I just don't get the vibe that he's your A target. He might be someone we pivot towards if it doesn't happen, if I'm completely honest. What's this? Arsenal files. Emirates ends 20-year partnership to sign with Chelsea's caterers as chef reveals stadium plans. We're going to skip through this, man. Oh, are they talking about Delaware? Long story short, we've seen this. Arsenal have got a new contractor. So literally when you're going and buying beers, the staff, they're in it. So that's one. We know we're in talks to expand the Emirates, which has been nice. Richard Garlick has given an update on potential plans to expand the Emirates. Specifically, what has he said? We are constrained by capacity increase. Railway and underground issues are a problem, but we are narrowing some options. It could be renovations, but we want to invest in the facilities. Big up Balogun doing his thing for America and having a great, doing great stuff. It's a success story. You come through Arsenal's academy, sold 40 million euros. Apparently, we've got a 17.5% sell-on clause. So when that next move happens, it is what it is. You'll have seen Max Dowman won goal of the season for Arsenal people for his strike against Everton. Safe standing is being installed at the Emirates for next season, but will only be used for matches involving the men's team. Okay. About time we worked on that, but we've got to have safety first. What would you lot make of Martinelli or Trossard to Newcastle? Which one would you rather go there? Which one would you rather not? Sources have suggested, and happy birthday, I believe, for Martinelli today. Sources have suggested that conversations have taken place between Newcastle and Arsenal on the availability of Leandro Trossard and Gabby Martinelli. Newcastle are directly informed that Trossard is in advanced talks to join Besiktas. According to reports by Court Offside, one source, Newcastle have been exploring other options. They weren't putting all their eggs into the Victor Munus basket. They also like Cody Gakpo, but the current feeling seems to be that Martinelli could be cheaper. Fair play. Come and make us an offer. Romano said Arsenal want to go for Rodgers. They consider him a top target. Mikel Arteta already mentioned him internally that he considers Rodgers as the ideal signing and perfect winger. The deal is on for Rodgers and Arsenal. Until I see people holding shirts, the dream is free. The Arsenal is sold separately. Court Offside have also said Andrea Berta has done a lot of work on a potential deal for Buwadi to Arsenal, but it's also part of his strategy to reach an agreement on personal terms with a number of targets before deciding on proceeding with club-to-club talks. For now, Arsenal do not yet have a full agreement on personal terms with Buwadi, who's been aggressively linked with Real Madrid today. Even if there's sense that initial talks have been positive, sources with ties to the agents industry say Leo could be looking for 70 to 80 million. So going back to what Dharma Chef said, yeah, if we just assume we sign Buwadi for let's say 80 million, you got him for 80 million, right? How much is Morgan Rogers? It could be 80 to 100. Let's say 80 in it. In fact, no, let's say 100. That's 180 already. That's 180 already. Monga turns it to 190 because that's 10 odd million quid. That's before you talk about all the other stuff. My man that we're getting from Greece, that's 30 odd. So that whole thing around Sky Sports about not spending around 200 odd million, it's not really right. Now, the difference is we had to kind of make our money more stretched last season. We got 8 players. We're kind of going, I don't want to say quality over quantity, because that's disrespect to the players that came in last season, but you can see where I'm going. Trilosis is at least better than Victor Munoz. Trilosis is our new Trossard profile player, which is why I think Trossard's the one through the door. There's been no updates, but 2 days ago, Romano did speak about Alex Scott. He said, Alex Scott remains a player on Arsenal's shortlist. The conversation is ongoing with the agents of the player and also Bournemouth to understand if there's a possibility of a deal. Bournemouth are pushing for the player to stay with a release clause. So we have to, being interested in a player is very different from we're lodging bids. Everybody's interested in someone like this. Every top club is going to be scouting and doing whatever. I don't doubt that. I don't doubt that we like him. I don't doubt Man United's interest. But you do always hit, because you have seen rumors they're trying to get him a contract with a release clause. You do see these rumors about going other clubs when it seems like people might be locked in contract talks. Again, yesterday or the day before that, people internally, Newcastle have long considered Arsenal to be the favourites to sign Sandro Tonali and have been expecting a bid since January. There's a suspicion that Tottenham's desire to pursue Tonali may well be designed to flush out Arsenal. There's rumours that despite City going for Elliot Anderson, they're still keen on Tonali, people. So we're going to have to see how this all works out, if I'm completely honest. Giroud believes his Leo teammate Bawardi will be playing for Real Madrid next year. He will one day play for them, PSG. And some reports actually say PSG are the runners. When you got a player like that, we can obviously present a project and be an attractive option, but PSG can do the same. Madrid have done the same. You have to hope for the best and pivot away for the worst, innit? Madrid are still being linked with Enzo Fernandez, who seems like it's more driven by him. Giroud said over 60, 70 million is the price now, and it's only going to go up for him and a number of players at the World Cup. It's going to be tough to keep him at Lille, but he's a complete player and very versatile. And he's all over the place, a bit like N'Golo Kante. The only thing he needs to improve, and he knows that because we've been teasing him about it a lot this year, is his finishing. Like being more aggressive in front of goal. Hey, but when DG says it, you lot don't take it in. Hopefully a World Cup winner says it, you might. But if he has it, he'll be playing for Real Madrid next year. Fair play, man. And they've been linked with him. He's played against them, what was it, last season before for Leo. We have been linked with Fresneda. Apparently we're looking at him closely. Bit of that might be because we've historically been linked with him. Obviously, if you take reports for gospel, you'd imagine that it's the end of the road for Benjamin White. So that's probably where you see stock in that. So yeah, apparently we've made inquiries about Alex Scott. Romano has said Alex Scott remains a player in the shortlist at Arsenal. It's true conversations are ongoing with the agent of the player and also with Bournemouth to understand if there's a possibility. Bournemouth are offering a new contract to Scott. They're really pushing the player to stay with a release clause. But Arsenal are considering the player very talented, so one of the options on the list. Scrolling all the way down. What's this? I don't know, man. But apparently Bournemouth want to renew Alex Scott's deal with a release clause due to expire in 28. Sources suggest the deal to sign Scott would cost 60 million this summer. Also, Tottenham and Chelsea are following him. Everybody's following everybody in it. So it all depends, really and truly. It really does. Should we see if there's been anything? At least we're seeming like we're going to get Monga through the door, man. A talented 16-year-old. Man United pull plug on deal for Dream Arsenal signing. I mean, were Man United ever linked with Bawardi? And as you can see, silly rumours, man. 50 million plus cash. 50 million, plus Gyökeres for Alvarez. I can't say I believe that, but big up everybody who does in it. Like we can all do what we want. We're not gonna go for the Sunderland chief. Let's run up the lights. Michael, appreciate you. Has anyone noticed how poor strikers forwards have been in the World Cup? Some really poor shots and technique. You reckon? Can't say I agree with that. Spurs only got Tonali if no other club goes in for him. We need our French and Dutch players. Omri, Bergkamp, Vieira, Robin van Persie, Perez, Longberg, Petit, Saliba, Overmars. Longberg, Swedish, my boy. We agreed personal terms with Kone, apparently. I mean, Hand of Arsenal saying that. Romano saying we don't. I'm all believe Hand of Arsenal, but I don't know, man. This is why it's all fun to discuss. But until people are signing shirts, holding shirts, whether they're telling the truth or not, I always grew up watching Arsenal. And until at the very least, Arsenal fans start doing what they're doing, where they're tracking planes and doing all that mad stuff, it stays here, man. Apparently they are. In my opinion, it will be a right back, Bawardi and Rodgers. I would like a striker, but I can't see it happening. Yeah, I think strikers parked off for next season. But I also think both our left wingers will be sold. What do you mean? How do you not know Freddie Lundberg is Swedish? And it's always romantic to have French players, but like and all them things. But I can't lie, I don't care if they're from Somalia, Brazil, England. If you're a left winger, left wing in it. If you're a striker, strike in it. If you're centre mid in it. Like competence, confidence, consistency. That's the 3 C's. We've got players that hit 1 of the 3, 2 of the 3. Let's be honest, the squad does, like the collective team across the season does, but collectively throughout the year, not everyone hits these 3 C's. That's what we need to hit that next level. There's a point to be made. Our signings last season weren't good. None of them started in the biggest game of the season. That don't really mean much. That don't mean much. You could argue they're not game changers, but that don't mean nothing. That's Arteta's prerogative, isn't it? If I'm honest. Nelly 50, Trossard 20. There's the Barcola money, DG. To be fair, that's a good point. Zolis. What would they ask? What the hell would they ask for Barcola with 1 year left? Not that PSG need cash. PSG never need Monga. I like Scott, but they're asking too much for him. What is 60 million in today's day and age, though? 50 million and he's yours, Newcastle. Nelly, I'd rather keep Trossard for 1 more season. I like Alex Scott. Reminds me of Wilshere a little bit on the ball. Why is TNT clickbaiting saying 50 mil swap deal? Gyökeres and Alvarez agreed. But I don't know what they're on. I think we buy another keeper purely because Kepa cuts. Marmoush played for Wolves before he joined City. He's not doing that well for Man City. Doku is going much better for City. Marmoush played for Wolves, yeah? Take your word for it. Thought he played in Germany or something, man. 195 in here and we ain't got 100 likes. What are you lot doing? This is why I shouldn't leave the window open. Come on, fly, man. Fly out the window. Look, I'm giving you a chance, bro. I know. You're